Hey guys, I'm Rahul Helmet. Welcome back to my channel, and this is the second video in the series of summary of the modern India. Till now we have done till chapter 3, so today we will be doing from chapter 4. And also use your headphone and increase the volume to the highest because my voice is not that loud. So the fourth chapter is India on the eve of British conquest. What was the condition of India after British conquest? So why the Mughal emperor declined? Weak successors, absence of definite law of succession, Aurangzeb's religious and Deccan policies, degeneration of rulers and nobles, deterioration of army, too vast an empire, external invasions, economic decline, advent of Europeans, shifting allegiance of zamindars, Jagirdari crisis, rise of regional aspirations. Now the second is rise of regional states. Three categories: successor states, independent states, new states. सोशियो एंड इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस कैसे थे, एग्रीकल्चर में क्या था, ट्रेड एंड इंडस्ट्री कैसा था, एजुकेशन कैसा था, सोसाइटी कैसा था, आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर एंड कल्चर कैसा था, ये सब देखेंगे इस समरी में हम लोग. सो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग, why the ruler empire declined. Weak successors. The Mughal empire was a personal despotism and its successors depended upon a strong and capable monarch. Absence of definite law of succession. Continuous wars of succession. Absence of law of primogeniture fostered partisanship at the cost of patriotism. Aurangzeb's religious and Deccan policies. The religious policy antagonized the Rajputs, Sikhs, Jats, and Marathas. Deccan policy kept the emperor away from the capital for a long duration. Degeneration of rulers and nobles, deterioration of army, too vast an empire. The vast empire became a difficult task for weak rulers to administer efficiently. External invasions of Irani and Durrani kingdoms, Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah, Abdali gave death blow. Economic decline, endless wars, stagnation in agriculture and decline in trade and industry impeded the royal treasury. Advent of Europeans. European companies interfered in native politics, hastening the disintegration of empire. Shifting allegiance of zamindars was the reason. Jagirdari crisis was there. Rise of regional aspirations. Rise and establishment of Awadh, Bengal, Hyderabad, Mysore, Kerala, Rajput states and Jat states accelerated the process of de-integration. Now the second concept, rise of regional states. Three categories है इसमें. सक्सेसर स्टेट्स, हैदराबाद 1724 निज़ामुल मुल्क, बंगाल 1717 मुर्शीद कुली खान एंड अवध 1722 सादत खान बुरहान उल मुल्क. इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट्स, मैसूर अंडर हैदर अली, केरला किंग मार्तंडा वर्मा and Rajput states, Raja Savai Singh Amber. New states, Marathas, Sikhs, Jats and Afghans were the new states. Socio-economic conditions, agriculture में क्या था, stagnant and technologically backward agriculture compensated by very hard labor of peasants. Peasants paid revenue to states, zamindars, jagirdars and revenue farmers. Major produce crops, rice, wheat, sugar, pepper, spices, cotton, etc. are the major produce. Trade and industry. Trade flourished. Cotton, textile, raw, silk fabrics, hardware, indigo, saltpeter, opium, rice, wheat, sugar, pepper, spices, precious stones and drugs were exported. Gold, musk, woolen cloth, copper, iron, lead, paper, porcelain, pearls, dates, dry fruits, coffee, tea, ivory, rosewater, etc. were imported. The textile industry was famous for its produce. The shipbuilding industry flourished. The metal industry was also well developed. Education, elementary education imparted through pathsalas and maktabs. Chatuspatis or tolls among Hindus and madrasas among Muslims were the institutes of higher learning. And one thing which I want to tell you, which I always speak in my videos, is try to understand in the one go. Just don't think that I should speak in Hindi or why he is not speaking in Hindi. It will kill your time, it will kill your brain. Just make your brain so capable that it could understand the things in one go, and that too in English. Just imagine what I'm saying. You just don't have to read the things. I'm reading it for you, and you just have to imagine the things. Look at the video, look what I'm saying, and imagine what is going on. By listening my voice as imagining the things which I'm speaking, which is easy. When you are reading, you distract, your mind distracts. Half of your mind is applied for reading, and half of your mind is concentrating on imagining the things. But right now you only have to listen. You don't have to apply your mind on reading the things, so it's great for you. Education, what was the condition? Elementary education imparted through pathsalas and maktabs. Chatuspathis or tolls among Hindus and madrasas among Muslims were the institutes of higher learning. ये सारे कंडीशंस थी जब ब्रिटिश ने कॉन्क्वेस्ट किया. सोसाइटी कैसी थी? अपार्ट फ्रॉम द फोर वर्नास, हिंदूज वेर डिवाइडेड इनटू मेनी सब कास्ट्स विच डिफर्ड इन देयर नेचर फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस. ये दिखा रहा है कि उस समय जब ब्रिटिशर्स ने कैप्चर्ड किया, कॉन्क्वेस्ट किया, तो हम किस कंडीशन में थे. ये उन्होंने नहीं किया, ये हम इस कंडीशन में थे, उन्होंने नहीं किया ये. Muslims were also divided by considerations of caste, race, tribe and status, even though their religion propagated equality. Art, architecture and culture. Asaf ud Daula in 1784 built Bada Imambara at Lucknow. Sawai Jai Singh built Pink City of Jaipur and 5 astronomical observatories: Delhi, Jaipur, Mathura, Benares and Ujjain. So it is your homework to understand why they are called observatories. What are astronomical observatories? Painting schools of Kanjra and Rajputana came into prominence. In northern India, growth of Urdu language and poetry took place. Prominent Urdu poets were Mir Sauda, Nazir and Mirza Ghalib. Regional languages developed. Tamil languages were enriched by Sitar poetry. So that's the end of the chapter 4, which was India's on the eve of British conquest. So now let's look at the summary of the chapter 5, which is expansion and consolidation of British power in India. कैसे उन्होंने एक्सपैंड किया और कैसे उन्होंने कंसोलिडेट किया, ये हम देखेंगे इस वीडियो में. इस चैप्टर में बड़ा चैप्टर है यार ये तो. So now, summary. Factor which gave success to British in India: superior arms, military discipline, civil discipline, brilliant leadership which did not bother about adopting unscrupulous practices. Your homework is to find what is unscrupulous. Financial strength, nationalist pride था उनके अंदर. Conflict between English and Nawabs of Bengal. बैटल ऑफ प्लासी हुआ है जून 23, 1757. रॉबर्ट क्लाइव्स विक्ट्री ओवर सिराज उद दौला लेड द टेरिटोरियल फाउंडेशन ऑफ ब्रिटिश रूल इन इंडिया. बैटल ऑफ बक्सर 1764. क्लाइव्स विक्ट्री ओवर द कंबाइंड आर्मीज ऑफ नवाब ऑफ बंगाल, नवाब ऑफ अवध एंड द मुगल एम्पायर एट बक्सर लेड द रियल फाउंडेशन ऑफ द इंग्लिश पावर. Now the Treaty of Allahabad 1765 granted the Diwani right of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to the English. treaty with Nawab of Awadh, treaty with Shah Alam II Mughal Emperor, डुअल गवर्नमेंट हुआ था 1765 टू 1772 में. सर्च ऑन द गूगल व्हाट इज डुअल गवर्नमेंट. ब्रिटिश कंक्वेस्ट ऑफ मैसूर, फर्स्ट एंग्लो मैसूर वार 1767 टू 69, ट्रीटी ऑफ मद्रास हुआ फिर उसको ये ख़त्म करने के लिए. सेकेंड एंग्लो मैसूर वार 1779 टू 1784, ट्रीटी ऑफ मैंगलोर से ख़त्म हुआ. थर्ड एंग्लो मैसूर वार 1790 टू 92, ट्रीटी ऑफ सेरिंगापटम से ख़त्म हुआ. फोर्थ एंग्लो मैसूर वार 1799, मैसूर इज conquered by British forces at the last. Anglo-Maratha, I am making this video to give you a overall of the entire modern India. I will go in the deep in the later videos. I am just letting you to imagine what is going on in just a few minutes of your life. So after this, Anglo-Maratha struggle for supremacy. First Anglo-Maratha war 1775 to 82, ट्रीटी ऑफ सूरत हुआ, उसके बाद तब ख़त्म हुआ 1775. उसमें ट्रीटी ऑफ सूरत उसी से आया है. फिर ट्रीटी ऑफ पुरंदर 1776 हुआ एंड देन ट्रीटी ऑफ सलवई 1782 हुआ. सेकेंड एंग्लो मराठा वार 1803 टू 05, ट्रीटी ऑफ बसीन 1802 हुआ उसमें. थर्ड एंग्लो मराठा वार 1817 टू 1819 हुआ है. Now the causes for the defeat of the Marathas: inept leadership, defective nature of the state, loose political setup, inferior military system, unstable economic policy. It is written unstable, USTABLE, unstable economic policy. I think it's unstable. Superior English diplomacy and espionage, progressive English outlook. Conquest of Sindh in 1843. Lord Ellenborough was the Governor General of India at that time. Conquest of Punjab, Treaty of Amritsar 1809. Ranjit Singh and the British. First Anglo-Sikh War was 1845 to 46. Second Anglo-Sikh War was 1848 to 49. British paramountcy in action. Ring fence policy of Warren Hastings important है. Subsidiary alliance of Wellesley. Subsidized states कौन कौन से हैं? सबसे पहले हैदराबाद 1798 1800, then Mysore 1799, then Tanjore October 1799, then Awadh 1801, Peshwa 1801, Bhosle of Berar 1803, सिंधिया फरवरी 1804, जोधपुर 1818, जयपुर 1818, मचेरी 1818, बूंदी 1818, भरतपुर 1818. Now the doctrine of lapsed state under the Lord Dalhousie, which started this policy of doctrine of lapse from 1848 to 56. So the first was Satara in 1848, Sambhalpur in 1849, Bhagat in 1850, Udaipur in 1850, Nagpur 1854, Jhansi 1855, Awadh 1856 on the charge of maladministration. Relations of British India with neighboring countries कैसा था? Anglo-Nepal relations, Treaty of Sagoli 1816, Anglo-Burma relations. First, ये सारी चीज़ें we will see in this chapter. So I'm just giving you the overview of what is modern Indian history. I'm just giving you the summary of it. So don't think that I'm not understanding what is going on. There's nothing to worry. I'm just reading the things which we have to read in this modern Indian history. This is to give you the overview of the entire modern India, modern history. So in relations, we will see Anglo-Nepal relations, Anglo-Burma relations, First Anglo-Burma War 1824 to 26, Second Anglo-Burma War 1852, Third Anglo-Burma War in 1885, Anglo-Tibetan relations, Treaty of Lhasa, Anglo-Afghan relations कैसे थे, Forward policy of Auckland, First Anglo-Afghan War 1839 to 1842, John Lawrence's policy of masterly inactivity. We will see Lytton and the policy of proud reserve. Second Anglo-Afghan War we will see from 1870 to 1880. Treaty of Gandamak 1879. Northwest Frontier Durand Agreement we will see in 1893. So that was chapter 5. So now this time to see the summary of chapter 6, which is People's Resistance Against British before 1857. It is a too long summary, man. It's a big chapter, so keep the patience on and keep imagining what I'm speaking. Factors responsible for people's resistance. What was the reason? If factors responsible means what was the reason? Colonial land revenue settlements, heavy burden of new taxes and eviction of peasants from their land, growth of intermediary revenue collectors, tenants and moneylenders, expansion of revenue administration over tribal lands, destruction of indigenous industry and promotion of British manufactured goods, end of patronage to priestly and scholarly classes, foreign character of British rule, forms of people's uprising, कैसे कैसे uprisings हुए थे, civil uprising, peasant movement, tribal revolts, military revolts. Now the civil uprisings before 1857 में क्या क्या था? सन्यासी revolt 1763 to 1800, Bihar and Bengal, Manjusa, Musa Sa, Bhavani Pathak and Devi Chaudhrani were some important leaders. Now then again rebellion in Midnapur and Dhalbhum in 1766 to 67. Bengal में हुआ था दामोदर सिंह, जगन्नाथ धाल etc. were the peoples involved. Revolt of Moammarias 1769 to 99 Assam में हुआ था and parts of present Bangladesh में हुआ था. Krishna Narayan was important leader in this. Civil uprisings in Gorakhpur, revolt of Raja of Vizanagaram, revolt of Bednoor हुआ था, revolt of Kerala, Varma Pazhasi Raja, civil rebellion of Awadh, then uprising in Ganjam and Gumsur, uprisings in Palamu. My mothers belong to Palamu. Uprising in Ganjam and Gumsur, uprisings in Palamu, Polygars revolt, revolt of Diwan Velu Thampi, disturbances in Bundelkhand. We will see it in details. So guys, for some reasons I could not go further, so thank you for this.